With a contemptuous smirk, Vanessa Caldwell stepped over the rope, shoving her phone directly into the lone female soldier's path. She was live to a million fans, mocking the tomb guard as a joke. But she never anticipated the soldier's ice-cold response. A single, precise movement that sent her phone flying and her career into a nosedive. And that was just the beginning. Before I tell you exactly what that move was, make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. Now let's get into it. The story unfolds on a sweltering August afternoon at Arlington National Cemetery. The air in Arlington was thick and heavy, the kind of oppressive August heat that makes the cicadas drone with a lazy, sawing buzz. Sunlight beat down on endless rows of white headstones, making the marble gleam with a blinding intensity. Each stone stood in silent, perfect formation, a testament to a life given in service. At the heart of this hallowed ground, the tomb of the unknown soldier radiated a profound stillness, a stark contrast to the simmering heat. Guarding it was U.S. Army Sergeant Anya Petrova. At 30 years old, she was a study in absolute discipline. Her blonde hair was pulled back into a severe, perfect bun beneath her service cap, not a single strand escaping to betray the humidity. Her eyes, the color of a winter sky, were fixed, focused, revealing nothing of the world beyond her duty. Anya was a combat veteran, having served 2 tours in Afghanistan not as an infantry soldier, but as a combat medic. She carried memories that the crisp precision of her uniform could never conceal. The frantic desperation of trying to save a life amidst dust and chaos. The weight of the one friend she couldn't save, whose face was forever etched behind her eyes. For her, guarding this tomb wasn't a performance. It was a penance and a promise. It was a silent conversation with the fallen, a way to offer the peace in death she couldn't always provide in life. Her duty was her redemption. Into this sacred silence burst Vanessa Caldwell. She was an explosion of color and noise in a world of solemn white and green. Dressed in a neon yellow workout set that seemed to vibrate in the heat, she was a walking, talking brand, her phone held aloft like a scepter. Her voice, amplified for her live stream, sliced through the reverent hush. "What is up, V-Hive?" she chirped, panning her phone across the plaza. "Your girl is live from Arlington, and let me tell you, this whole tomb guard thing is a choice." She laughed, a sharp, artificial sound. They marched back and forth like wind-up dolls. "It's a taxpayer-funded performance, and we're here to see if we can get a refund." A ripple of discomfort spread through the small crowd. Near the edge of the plaza stood David Chun, a retired Air Force captain, his quiet dignity a stark contrast to Vanessa's clamor. His posture was relaxed but alert, his eyes missing nothing. Beside him, his 12-year-old daughter, Maya, clutched a small booklet about the cemetery. "Dad, why is she being so loud?" Maya whispered. David's gaze remained on Vanessa, his expression unreadable. "Because, sweetie, some people think the world is their stage," he said, his voice low and steady. "They don't understand that some places are theaters of memory. This ground is sacred." A few feet away, Evelyn Reed, a high school history teacher chaperoning a class trip, gathered her students closer. Her face was a mask of controlled fury. "Students, I want you to watch this," she murmured, her voice tight with indignation. "You are about to see a real-time lesson in the difference between fame and honor. Pay attention to what happens when arrogance meets tradition." The ceremony for the changing of the guard began. A hush fell, broken only by Vanessa's continued narration to her followers. "All right, V-Hive, here comes a new one. Look at that serious face. I'm betting 500 likes I can make her crack a smile. Drop those cash emojis if you think I can do it." The view count on her screen ticked upwards, fueling her audacity. Sergeant Petrova stepped onto the mat. Her M14 rifle was an extension of her arm. Her movements were flawless, each step landing with the soft, authoritative click of her boots on the stone. 21 steps. It wasn't just a number. It was a tribute, the highest military honor. For Anya, each step was a name, a face, a memory from the dust of Helmand Province. "This one's for you, Corporal Jensen," she thought, her expression an unyielding mask of focus. The world outside the 63-foot rubber mat ceased to exist. There was only the mission, to guard the tomb, to honor the unknowns, to keep her promise. The oppressive heat seemed to intensify as Anya began her solitary walk. The sun bore down on the back of her neck, but she didn't feel it. The whispers of the crowd, the distant traffic, the incessant buzz of the cicadas, all of it faded into a dull, distant hum. Her world had shrunk to the precise dimensions of her patrol. 21 steps south. Turn. Face east for 21 seconds. Turn. Face north for 21 seconds. 21 steps north. Repeat. It was a rhythm of remembrance, a moving meditation that kept the ghosts of her past at bay. But one sound refused to fade. Vanessa Caldwell's sharp, grating voice. She's not even sweating, V-Hive. It's like she's a robot. A fembit. Are we sure she's real? Vanessa's laughter echoed across the plaza. A park ranger, a kindly-looking older man named Mr. Williams, approached her, his face etched with weary patience. "Ma'am," he said, his voice polite but firm, "I need you to lower your voice. You're in a place of solemnity." Vanessa waved a dismissive hand, keeping her phone trained on Anya. "Relax, Grandpa. I'm just giving my audience a little color commentary. It's a public park, isn't it? It's a national cemetery, ma'am. And that is a restricted area," Mr. Williams said, pointing to the thin velvet rope and the stanchions that separated the public from the guard's path. "You need to stay behind the barrier." "Barrier? That's adorable," Vanessa scoffed, turning her phone on him for a moment. "Get a load of this guy, V-Hive. The fun police are here." She turned back to Anya, her voice rising with renewed bravado as the like counter on her stream surged past 10,000. "He says I can't cross this little rope. What do you guys think? Should I show him what freedom of speech looks like?" From Anya's perspective, the neon yellow shape was a distracting blur in her periphery. She registered it the way she had been trained to register any anomaly in a hostile environment, as a potential threat to the mission. Her mind briefly flashed to a marketplace in Kandahar. The vibrant colors, the chaotic noise, and the sudden, gut-wrenching realization that a seemingly innocent cart was a threat. The same instincts flared now. Filter, focus, execute. Her duty was to the tomb, not to the tourist. The mission was absolute. Fueled by the virtual cheers of her followers, Vanessa made her move. "All right, V-Hive, you asked for it. We're going viral." With a dramatic flourish, she ducked under the rope, stepping directly onto the rubber matting that marked the Sentinel's path. She planted her feet, holding her phone up like a shield, its lens just inches from where Anya's face would be. The crowd let out a collective gasp. David Chen instinctively put a hand on his daughter's shoulder. Ms. Reed's students stared, their mouths agape. Anya's pace did not change. Her internal metronome did not miss a beat. 17, 18, 19. The obstacle was directly in her path. Protocol was clear. She would not stop. She would not deviate. She was a guardian, a force of tradition, and the path she walked was inviolable. At step 20, as she closed the final feet between them, Anya's training took over completely. It wasn't a decision made in anger or frustration. It was a conditioned response executed with surgical precision. As her left foot planted, she performed a standard clearing maneuver. Without breaking stride, she brought her right shoulder forward in a swift, controlled movement. It was not a violent shove, but a firm, unyielding shoulder check, a biomechanical transfer of momentum designed to move an obstruction with minimal force and maximum efficiency. The impact was solid. Vanessa, unprepared for the unmovable nature of the soldier, let out a startled yelp. Her balance shattered. She stumbled backward, tripping over her own feet, and landed hard on the stone plaza. Her phone flew from her grasp, tumbling through the air before clattering onto the ground several feet away. The live stream camera, still rolling, captured a dizzying, chaotic spin of shocked faces, blue sky, and white marble before landing screen up, broadcasting an indifferent heaven to a stunned digital audience. For a heartbeat, the plaza was frozen in stunned silence, the only sound the relentless, rhythmic click of Sergeant Petrova's boots as she completed her 21st step, executed a perfect turn, and continued her vigil as if nothing had happened. The spell was broken by a raw, furious shriek. She pushed me. Vanessa scrambled to her feet, her neon yellow outfit now smudged with dust, her perfectly styled hair falling in disarray. The mask of smug amusement had vanished, replaced by a contorted face of pure rage. That soldier assaulted me. I'm on camera. Millions of people saw that. I'll have her job for this. She snatched her phone off the ground, jabbing a finger at Anya's implacable back. Did you see that? I'm pressing charges. The crowd began to murmur, a low tide of disapproval turning against her. It was David Chun who spoke first. He took a deliberate step forward, his voice calm, but carrying an authority that cut through Vanessa's hysterics. Ma'am, that soldier was performing her duty. A duty you chose to obstruct. You crossed a clearly marked boundary and interfered with a federal employee on sacred ground. No one assaulted you. You collided with a consequence. His words, precise and devastatingly accurate, hung in the air. A smattering of applause broke out from the onlookers. Vanessa whirled on him, her eyes blazing. A consequence? Who do you think you are? Some washed-up vet with a hero complex? This isn't about duty, it's about entertainment. And your hero just created the best content I've had all year. It was then that a small, quiet voice pierced the confrontation. It was Maya, David's daughter. She had stepped out from behind her father, her young face a mixture of confusion and hurt. But he is a hero, she said, her voice clear and unwavering in the sudden quiet. She looked directly at Vanessa. My dad says the soldiers here are heroes who never got to go home. Why are you being so mean to the person who's protecting them? The question was so simple, so innocent, yet it landed with the force of a physical blow. It stripped away all of Vanessa's justifications, her talk of content and clout, and laid bare the raw disrespect of her actions. For a moment, Vanessa was speechless. The crowd was silent, every eye on her. The rage on her face flickered, replaced by a flash of stunned uncertainty. She had no answer for the child. Before she could recover, 2 Arlington police officers, summoned by Mr. Williams, arrived. Their heavy boots on the stone announced their presence. Officer Miller, a man with a stern, weathered face, and Officer Davis, a younger, sharp-eyed woman, approached the scene. What seems to be the problem here? Miller asked, his gaze sweeping from a flustered Vanessa to the stoic, distant figure of Anya on her patrol. Vanessa immediately launched back into her performance. The problem? The problem is that I was violently attacked, she exclaimed, gesturing wildly. That soldier body slammed me, for no reason. I have it all on video. I want her arrested. I'm the victim here. Officer Davis pulled out a notepad, her expression unimpressed. Ma'am, we received a call about a civilian interfering with the tomb guard. We were also informed that you were given multiple warnings to step back. She looked up from her notes, her eyes locking onto Vanessa's. Is that true? Warnings? That old man was just being a busybody. This is assault. Vanessa's voice was becoming shrill. She was losing control, her narrative crumbling under the weight of calm, simple facts. The digital storm on her phone was now a hurricane. The comments flooding her screen were no longer supportive emojis, but a torrent of condemnation. You deserve that. Show some respect. Hashtag Arlington Disgrace is trending. Her carefully constructed world of online adoration was imploding in real time, right here on the hot stones of the plaza. Just as Vanessa was about to unleash another tirade, a new figure strode onto the plaza, his presence immediately commanding silence. He was Major Hayes, the commander of the Tomb Guard Relief. His uniform was immaculate, the medals on his chest glinting in the harsh sun. He was a man in his late 40s, with a face that looked like it had been carved from granite and eyes that held the cold, clear light of unwavering authority. He stopped before the 2 officers, giving Vanessa a brief, dismissive glance. Officers, I've been apprised of the situation, Major Hayes stated, his voice a low baritone that tolerated no argument. He turned his gaze fully on Vanessa, and for the first time, she seemed to shrink. Ms. Caldwell, I have already reviewed the security footage of the incident. Sergeant Petrova acted in perfect accordance with the tomb guard's standing orders for clearing the sentinel's path. She performed her duty flawlessly. Flawlessly? She attacked me. Vanessa sputtered, but her protest sounded weak, childish. Major Hayes' expression did not change. You were the one who initiated physical contact by placing yourself in her path after ignoring 6 verbal warnings for park staff. What you seem to misunderstand is that this is not a stage. These are active duty soldiers on a federally protected site. He paused, letting the weight of his next words sink in. Under Title 18, Section 1382 of the U.S. Code, and the specific regulations of Arlington National Cemetery, your actions constitute interference with a military sentinel in the performance of their duty. That is a federal offense. You are fortunate that at this moment, you are merely being asked to leave. Do you understand? The words federal offense finally pierced through Vanessa's bubble of self-importance. Her face went pale. The blustering rage drained away, replaced by the cold dread of real-world consequences. She fumbled with her phone, her thumb swiping frantically. The live feed had ended, but the damage was done. Her follower count, once her source of power and identity, was visibly plummeting, dropping by thousands every few seconds. She was not just losing an argument. She was losing her empire. In that moment of crushing defeat, a memory surfaced. Her father, a steelworker with calloused hands and an unshakable moral code, telling her as a child, "Nessa, don't ever ask for respect. Earn it, and you don't earn it by being the loudest person in the room." He would be horrified. He would be ashamed. And for the first time that day, Vanessa felt a hot flush of genuine shame burn her cheeks. "Your choice, ma'am," Officer Miller said, his voice flat. "You can walk out of here with us now, or you can leave in handcuffs. Either way, you're leaving." Defeated, Vanessa nodded numbly. I'll go," she whispered, the words barely audible. As the officers escorted her away, a pariah in neon yellow, the crowd parted silently. Her last view of the plaza was of Sergeant Anya Petrova, a solitary, steadfast figure turning with perfect precision against the white marble of the tomb. She was a statue of duty, unmoved and unaffected, her focus absolute. The crowd began to disperse, but David and Maya remained. They watched as Anya continued her silent, ceaseless patrol, a lone guardian holding a sacred line. "She's amazing," Maya said in awe. "She is," David agreed, his voice thick with emotion. "She's holding the line for all of us." He watched Anya, a deep sense of gratitude welling up inside him. On that hot August day, in the face of meaningless noise and selfish ambition, honor had not flinched. The line had been held. This story is about more than just an influencer's public failure. It reveals a fundamental clash in our modern world. The battle between fleeting, digital fame and timeless, enduring values like honor, sacrifice, and respect. It shows that true strength isn't measured by follower counts or viral moments, but by an unwavering commitment to something bigger than oneself. True power lies in knowing when to stand in quiet reverence. Have you ever witnessed someone mistake a solemn duty for a dramatic show, online or the real world? What would you have thought if you were standing in that crowd, watching the confrontation unfold? Do you think our society is losing its ability to distinguish between what is sacred and what is merely content for entertainment? Share your thoughts and experiences with us in the comments below. If this story made you think about the true meaning of respect, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about unsung heroes and the powerful lessons they teach. Share this with someone who needs a reminder of what truly matters in a world full of noise. We read every single comment and value your perspective. More stories about the silent guardians who protect our history are waiting for you on screen. Watch those next, and we'll see you tomorrow with a brand new story about a lie that was told for all the right reasons. Until then, stay thoughtful.